Warriors, your world is rapidly changing before your eyes. It's right in front of you in plain sight, and you can't see it. That's how a lot of things happen, Warriors, because we're not taught economics. We're not taught about money. We're just taught to go to school, get a job, work for a paycheck, fight for the weekend, work 3 different jobs, to be miserable, to fight to pay our bills. There's a better way, Warriors, and I'll tell you what, things are going to get a lot tougher for people in the next 12 months. It's going to get a lot tougher in the next 12 months. But here's the good news. I want to share with you good news. In my paradigm, it's light, love, positivity, and generational wealth. Because you can do something about it, Warriors. You don't have to sit back and let the richest people in the world get rich. You can build generational wealth if you make the right moves. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. All I'm doing, I'm not asking you to trust a word I say. What I'm asking you to do is to listen and then go do your own research. Comment below, debunk what I'm saying. That means you're actually going out there and doing the research. Because I'm not here to make your decisions for you. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing and what I'm seeing with my experience for studying this for 9 years, being in the banking system and understanding there's something else going on as you're looking this way. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. I say that every day on my Coach JV podcast because I believe in my heart I'm the top health and mindset coach in the world, and that's all that matters, and you should believe in yourself too. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button. This is my second video today. I've been doing 2 videos a day because there is no more important time than right now. Things are changing rapidly. As you're going about your day, driving down the freeway, going to work, clocking out, watching your Netflix series, there's a whole new world being created. And I want to break this down step by step. Okay. Now, there's some things you need to know and understand. So your stock market right now has been hitting some all-time highs. Why is that? Why is that? Why is your stock market at an all-time high when our GDP is worse than the Great Depression? Unemployment is at historical lows. Okay, but you're going to hear a different thing on the news, right? You're going to hear a completely different thing on the news. But I want to start you out with something fun. So in 1988, this is the Economist magazine cover. This is 1988. Look at this cover. Get ready for a world currency. Okay, underneath it is cash burning, a phoenix rising from the ashes. And is that maybe a cryptocurrency coin that has the phoenix on it? Interesting. Just something to have a little fun with. So 1988, Economist magazine. 1988, so we detached from the gold standard in 1971. And I'm going to take you on a journey, Warriors. So this is about education. Hopefully this helps you open up your mind to economics and an understanding of where your cash is going. So many of the biggest people are saying cash is trash. So let's go on a journey here, Warriors. Okay, so check this out. So what would it take for the US dollar to collapse? Ever since the launch of quantitative easing, worried investors have asked, will the US dollar collapse? It is an interesting question that might superficially appear plausible, but currency crisis in the United States is unlikely. Until now, right? When was this article written here? Let me see when this was written. Okay, April 12th when everything was right. But wait till let's walk you through this. Why currencies collapse? Now, history is full of sudden currency collapses. Do you realize that every single fiat government-issued currency in history has all gone down to zero and collapsed? Every single fiat currency has gone to zero and collapsed. And we have not had a new asset class since the 1600s. The root of any collapse stems from the lack of faith in the stability, these are key words, listen to what I'm saying, or usefulness of the money to serve its effective store of value or medium of exchange. As soon as a user stops believing in the currency is useful, that currency is in big trouble. This can be brought about through improper valuation or pegging, chronic low growth, or inflation. Okay? Think about what's happening right now in your current state. 2020, we're going to get locked down again. Businesses are shutting down. Jerome Powell said that small mom and pop businesses are going to be in trouble. He just said that yesterday. Watch my other video. These are your world leaders saying this. We're moving to the 4th industrial revolution, new quantum financial system. You don't believe it, but that's where we're going to. So we're having low growth. The interest rates are at an all-time low, and they're printing money like it's a printing machine. Okay? So these are the things that make a dollar collapse. Let's repeat this. The root of any collapse stems from faith of the stability or usefulness of money to serve an effective store of value or medium of exchange. As soon as users stop believing that currency is useful, that currency is in trouble. This can be brought on through improper valuation or pegging, chronic low growth, or inflation. What's happening right now? Our GDP is worse than the Great Depression. Inflation is happening right now. Would you agree that all your products and services are getting more expensive? Are you making more money? No, you're not. So let's go ahead and take a deep dive a little bit further. Okay? US printed more money in 1 month than in 2 centuries. Shall we read that again? US printed more money in 1 month than in 2 centuries. The Federal Reserve money printer has cranked up to ridiculous levels. But will it really lead to inflation? We're already there, guys. It's leading to inflation right now. This is July 31st, 2020. Then Jerome Powell came out with his announcement saying they're going to a flexible inflation rate. You're experiencing inflation right now. Kevin and I went to go lunch frequently, and our cost of our lunch is going up. Our smoothies have gone up. Everything is going to slowly but surely go up, but your paycheck's not going to go up. In a letter to investors released on July 29th, Pantera Capital CEO Dan Morehead noted that the United States has printed a shocking amount of money to combat the pandemic-induced financial crisis. The United States printed more money in June than in the first 2 centuries after its founding, Morehead wrote. Last month, the U.S. budget deficit, $864 billion, was larger than the total debt incurred from the 1776 through the end of 1979. Let's read that again. The U.S. budget deficit, $864 million, was larger than the total debt incurred from 1776 to 1979. That was 1 month's debt incurred. Okay, that's why people are losing confidence in the dollar, and that's why some of the top investors are saying cash is trash. Morehead made it clear that Pantera Capital sees Bitcoin as a solution for the current crisis. He also contrasts the efforts of the money printing in recent months to how the equivalent amount of currency had performed across the centuries. Okay, it says, with the first trillion USD printed, we defeated British imperialists, bought Alaska and Louisiana Purchase. We defeated fascism, ended the Great Depression, built the interstate highway system, and went to the moon. Whoo! Man, this is getting crazy. Okay, Morehead cited the result of inflation as the main reason one should get out of paper money and into Bitcoin. I'm not trying to sell Bitcoin here. There's no benefit for me. I'm into cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, stores of value. Gold, silver, stores of value. Okay, he's talking about Bitcoin because he's a Bitcoin person, right? So it's about stores of value. So let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper. Let's look at an inflation calculator. Okay, 1913, when the Federal Reserve was enacted, to 1971. A dollar from 1913 to 1971. Now let's remember what happened in between there. The Bretton Woods Standard came in 1944, the new Bretton Woods Standard, right? So in 1913 and 1971, the same dollar would take $4.09 to buy the same thing, right? So your dollar would take $4.09. So if this cost a dollar in 1913, it would cost you $4.09 to buy it in 1971. Well, let's see what's happened that inflated by 309%. Let's take it to 2020, okay? Now, let's understand what's happened. From 1971 to 2020, Nixon detached us from the gold standard and the printing machine started. And did you catch that? Then 1 month this year, we printed more than years combined, years and years and years combined, more money, less value, okay? Historical low interest rates. Money printer is on. And in 2020, it takes you $26. So if this costs $1 in 1913, it will take you $26 to buy the same item. Let me ask you a question. Has your pay gone up 2,530.2%? Has your pay gone up 2,530%? Of course not, right? So our wages, and it's not going to be a one-to-one ratio, but our wages have not increased. Okay, the inflation calculator, we're getting paid. Our pay's not going up as much as the inflation of the dollar, right? And they just keep printing money. Okay, so we talked about, showed you this. We talked about what would it take for the dollar to collapse. U.S. printed more money in 1 month Here's your inflation calculator. That's what your dollar is worth now. Now remember, every fiat currency has collapsed in history, every single one of them. So Ray Dalio, let me set this up. So Ray Dalio, so you have Warren Buffett, one of the most touted investors, and close number 2 is Ray Dalio. So you have Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, the top 2 investors in the world. Let's just watch a couple minutes of this video, and he talks about how cash is the least safe investment.
Most people think that cash is safe. Cash is the least safe investment. It just doesn't have the same volatility to it. You know, in 1945, we began a new world order. 1944, we created a new monetary system, the Bretton Woods monetary system. And then we created that new world order. And that created a bull markets in stocks and an American world order for the most part. There's a cycle that we're used to in which whenever you have an economic downturn, the central bank hits the gas and can create debt expansion, and that produces an increase in demand. And that happens in 3 phases at the cycle. Normally, it's interest rates. You lower interest rates and the economy turns up. But when you hit 0 interest rates, which happened in 1932, debt crisis, 1932, we hit 0 interest rates. Then you go to the second type of monetary policy in which central banks print money and buy financial assets to add liquidity. And those purchases, those sellers of bonds who get the cash, go out and they buy other financial assets, and we have the process going through. And that's the second type of monetary policy. So the only 2 times that happened was 2008 to 9, 1929 to 1932, 0 interest rates, print money, monetization. That'll carry you so far. And then there's what I call monetary policy 3, which means that money does not trickle down to the population and go all the places that it's needed to go. In other words, the coordination between fiscal and monetary policy so that the central bank is buying assets of a different sort, a wide range of assets, producing liquidity, and also having the effect of buying government debt and monetizing it. And that's the late cycle of an expansion. That's what's driving the markets now. That's what's driving the economy now. For example, today, the Federal Reserve and the government is creating the liquidity that we're seeing in the markets. And it has big implications for the value of money. What is the value of money? Where does money go? Cash is going to be a poor investment, and so it goes elsewhere.
Okay, so let's stop. So what I talk about all the time is why the stock market's so high. Tuesday, the Fed cuts checks. Yesterday, the stock market was pumping. Think about that, guys. The Feds are pumping the economy. They're keeping it alive through printed money that's deflating your dollar. We are now, you can mortgage a home or refinance a home for under 2%. We're heading towards 0% interest rates. This is a car crash waiting to happen, Warriors. So that's Ray Dalio, one of the top investors in the world. Now, one of my favorite people, Robert Kiyosaki, so I want to give credit. I will attach these videos down below. Be Inspired is amazing. But let's read this quote first. Gold and silver are God's money. That is truly God's money, is gold and silver. It comes from the earth. And Bitcoin is open source people's money. These are ways to escape inflation and the reportedly controlled system that is currently faces difficulties. So we're going to watch a little bit of this. Actually, we're going to watch the full 4 minutes. So hopefully you've made it this far. This is your life. This is important, Warriors.
Today's program is a very important program because Buffett, who has badmouthed gold for years, invested $560 billion or $1 million or some ungodly number that none of us use to buy shares in Barrick gold mining. Now, the reason that's important is not so much what he bought. The question is, what did he dump? Did he dump all airline stocks? And he dumped banking stocks, including, J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs. So the question we have for you, what does that mean to you? If he's dumping airlines and he's dumping banking stocks, but he's buying Barrick Gold Company.
And he used to talk bad about gold, right?
Let me give you some quotes from Buffett, just so you don't doubt my word here. This is Warren Buffett. Gold gets dug out of the ground in Africa or someplace. Then we melt it down, dig another hole, bury it again, and pay people to stand around guarding it. It has no utility. Anyone watching from Mars would be scratching their head, Warren Buffett. And then Munger, his partner, who's 96, Buffett turned 90. It's a much better life to work with businesses and people engaged in business. I can't imagine a worse crowd to deal with than a bunch of gold bugs. So now these two old guys, 90 and 96, they're eating their words. It's 560 billion or 560 million, more than my number, to buy Barrick gold. So they're shifting into gold, dumping bank stocks, even as JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, and dumping airline stocks. So the question is, what does that mean about the future? What are you going to do? If two old guys can change their mind, what are you going to do?
So think about that, Warriors. Why would they be leaving bank stocks? And why are banks rapidly moving to a blockchain system? Why would Jamie Dimon in 2017 tell you that cryptocurrency is a fraud? And in 2020, build his own blockchain where cryptocurrencies can run off his blockchain? Why would Jamie Dimon and Chase start to bank the #1 cryptocurrency platform, Coinbase? Why would PayPal say it's a fraud last year and PayPal implement Bitcoin on your wallet? Why are banks going to be able to custody cryptocurrency? Warriors, it is moving fast and furious. We're moving to a digital-based society. Top 2 investors in the world are basically saying cash is trash. Ray Dalio has been quoted saying cash is trash. So when you go to work, you earn a paycheck and you get $400 a week. You get that paycheck in your account. Inflation is happening right now. So that hard-earned money you worked for, everything costs more. So you're actually making less money now. So if you made $400 for 4 weeks, and now the inflation is going up, you actually made less money every single month as inflation goes up. So if you could take your money and you could put it into something that's a store of value that holds value, you're hedging against inflation. That's why Warren Buffett is running into gold stocks. That's why Ray Dalio has a diverse portfolio. That's why these billionaires are running into Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. That's why JP Morgan has moved into cryptocurrencies. That's why Bank of America has the most cryptocurrency platforms. That's why Wells Fargo invested $5 million into a cryptocurrency platform. It is happening right under your nose because you're used to a monetary system that you grew up in. Warriors, every single fiat currency has collapsed in history. The American GDP is worse than it's ever been. We're at 106% debt to income ratio. Could we go and buy a car as Americans? If we went in as America to buy a car, we get declined. And they're projecting to go to 152%. Some of the world's superpowers is America and China. China's at 56% debt to income ratio. There's something different going on behind the scenes. So let's go ahead and just have you watch the first couple minutes of the IMF. Now, in here, there's the IMF mentioned in here. Did you hear what he said? There was a new world order. I'm not talking about conspiracy, but there was a new monetary order created in the Bretton Woods Standard. We broke free from the Bretton Woods Standard in 1971 with President Nixon. So we broke away from that in America. But now they're working hard to get us all back together. But here's where we're at, Warriors. This is the facts of where we're heading.
With digitalization of all aspects of our lives, here we are virtually connected, accelerated today by COVID-19, once a boring subject, many called cross-border payments plumbing. Now it takes center stage in policy making. We have a chance to improve cross-border payments with huge benefits, especially for many of the world's poorest people. And there is a pressing need to do so. At a time when technology is accelerating and changing our lives, it is allowing us to hold, work, and interact in a way that was not possible years ago. Cross-border payments still remain slow, opaque, costly, and inaccessible to part of the 1.7 billion people worldwide who are unbanked. Correspondent banks, those providing access to cross-border payments, are 22% fewer since 2011. And meanwhile, remittances still cost 7% on average, more than twice the target set by the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Now, fixing these shortcomings will require a concerted and coordinated global effort involving a variety of public and private actors. And it is urgent given the need to spur economic recoveries and counter fragmentation, particularly post-COVID-19. We must improve existing systems and we must explore new ones, potentially taking advantage of central bank digital currencies.
I will stop right there. Private sector, warriors. We run off a SWIFT system that's an old archaic system that, don't quote me, I think it was about 50 years ago, before the internet was created. Now, often people call me the tinfoil hat guy, right? And it's the person who says, I'm not moving into this new digital age or quantum financial system, the fourth industrial revolution, as they talk to me through their iWatch and as they go home and talk to their Alexa. You're already there, warriors. You're already using all this stuff. We're moving from a paper currency to a digital currency. Now, paper currency is not going to just disappear. But if you keep printing money, now a digital CBDC, a bank digital currency, a Fed digital currency, is very different from a regular dollar. So a fiat dollar and a digital dollar, they're going to use the same name, but they're very, very different. So you got to understand, why are billionaires moving towards gold, Bitcoin, silver, hedges against inflation? Why are they moving? Because the dollar, they don't have confidence in the dollar. If you see gold prices going up, that is not good. It's good for investors. It's not good for your economy. People run to gold and stores of value when they don't trust the government currency. And when does a government currency collapse? When there's lack of trust in it. So I just want to share this with you guys to inform you so you can make informed decisions. If you made it this far, this is 22 minutes. You're a true warrior. The attention span of people is 5 seconds now. So if you made it this far, you're somebody who can make a big difference in your life. You're probably the generational shifter in your life. You want more for your family. So I would highly recommend you join our private Facebook group down below. We have a Warrior Academy where we work out live with you daily. Nutrition, habit stacking, goal setting, vision board creation. I'm actually showing my own generational wealth building plan. I'm not a financial advisor. None of it's financial advice. I'm just documenting my journey and showing my warriors what I'm doing. This is not to get you to get into digital currency. This is to get you to open up your mind so you can never be played, warriors. Because if you know the game, you can never be played. Warriors, rise. Click down below to join. Click down below to join. Have a great day, guys.